Brad Miller signs a one-year deal between $3 million and $3.5 million with the Philadelphia Phillies. So Brad Miller, he plays all over the infield. This season, he'll turn 32 years old, is Miller, and he's a good utility man. And once again, he finds another home here with Philly, who he played half a season with in 2019, is Miller. So let's take a look at some of Miller's stats in 2018 with the Brewers and the Tampa Bay Rays. He had 7 home runs, 29 RBIs in 75 games, 254 plate appearances, a 248 batting average, a 311 on base, 413 slugging, a 724 OPS. Then in 2019, between the Indians and Phillies, who he's back on obviously now, is Brad Miller. 13 home runs, 25 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 260 batting average, 329 on base, a 565 slugging, and an 894 OPS. And then last season with the Cardinals, he had a pretty decent year. 48 games, 171 plate appearances, 7 home runs, 25 RBIs, 232 batting average, a 357 on base, a 451 slugging, and an 807 OPS. So he'll be the 9th-year veteran now, is Brad Miller. It's a good signing for Philly. They could use a guy who hits righties well all over the diamond, and Miller, he could play second, he could play third. I don't know if he could really play shortstop that much anymore as he's up there in age, and he could also play some first base, so he's a good utility man. Last season, he had a good year with the power numbers and a pretty solid on-base percentage, so I think he could help this Philly team out. Obviously, Citizens Bank Ballpark, it's a small ballpark where Miller maybe could hit a lot of doubles or home runs as well, and he gets a decent contract. Him and Marlon Gonzalez and Jonathan VR, all these utility guys, getting similar type of deals with the 1 year, $3 to $4 million. So Miller, he cashes in. He waited close here to spring training, but he signs a deal. He's going to make the Philly roster. He'll be one of their best bench hitters and possibly a starter or a spot starter on most days versus righties. So Brad Miller, good move for Philly. And now as far as fantasy baseball goes, Miller, he might have some value in 12-team leagues or deeper, depending if he could win out a starting job for this Philly team. Last season, I know he was on most rosters most of the year because of his good power numbers, and some games where he broke out was Miller. Just his batting average was low, but everything else he was pretty solid at was Miller for fantasy baseball. So this year, he'll be on the radar as a player that you wait and see approach you take, or you take him in the later rounds, the last 2 or 3 rounds of your fantasy draft. So Brad Miller, the 31-year-old, finds a new home, even though he was in Philly a couple seasons ago. And now he's back here with the Philadelphia Phillies on a 1 year, $3.5 million deal. And we'll see what he can do for the Phillies and fantasy owners here in the upcoming 2021 season.